Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm having a cold right now, so I sound a little bit like a duck. But anyway, today I'm back with another bouquet painting. So I've recently rediscovered my love for bouquet pieces, so I hope you're not bored of it yet. This one is quite a simple piece, but I really loved how it looked like at the end. I usually don't start my pieces with the black background, but for this one, I'm painting it black. And in the middle, I'm just adding a little bit of turquoise and I'm going to blend it all in. Next, I'm going to draw my bouquet circles in a straight line from left to right, starting with yellow to orange and blue. So I put a masking tape in the middle so that I can draw like a straight line. So this is just to map it out, and I'm going to give it a little bit of breaks between the bouquet circles, which I'm going to fill them up later. Once I've finished drawing all the circles, I'm going to just paint the insides of it and remove the masking tape. So again, refresher, on the left we're going to paint them in yellow, in the middle orange, and on the right blue. So this is supposed to be a view of the city skyline across the river in Bokeh at night. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw the shape of the building in Bokeh. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm just drawing the circles first. I'm going to draw like a big one in the middle, just like a very vague shape of a building, and then a smaller one on the left and on the right. So on the left you see that just 4 dots, that's like supposed to be the smaller building. That's going to be in orange and yellow, and the middle one is going to be in yellow, orange, and a little bit of red. And I'm going to add another one on the right side, so it's just going to be like a small cluster of dots like the yellow one, to have to kind of just balance it out. So for this block in the middle, I'm going to paint them in light orange and dark orange, and just a few yellow ones in between. Now working on the right side, which is the blue tower, and I'm going to make this shape a little bit different from them so you have a bit of variety, but it's going to be roughly on the same size as the one on the right, so it balances out. So now on to the next step. I'm going to fill all these blank spaces in between each bouquet, and I'm going to blur each bouquet circle. So this is the same technique as the previous bouquet piece. What I like to do now is I like to soften the bouquet in the background so that when I paint a solid bouquet over it later, that it tends to accentuate the main bouquet light a little bit more. Okay, so before I start blurring them, I'm going to fill up all these blank spaces in between each bouquet circles. I'm going to add more yellow bouquet circles and like a few orange ones in between, so the transition from yellow to orange wouldn't be too stark. So when I say I want to blur the bouquet circles, this is how I do it. I use a bit of black and then I mix it with the color of the bouquet. So for example, the ones I'm working on right now are in orange, so I mix black with orange and then I kind of just blend it around the circle so it looks a bit softer, and also I kind of just paint over the orange circle so that it takes the brightness of the orange away and dims it with the black. So here's a close-up shot. I repaint the circle first in yellow, and then you can see right now I'm blending the edges of the circle with black and yellow, and then I just kind of use my brush and I kind of like circle it in so that it becomes soft around the edges. Then you get this very grayish looking bouquet circle that's sort of blended into the background. This is not difficult, it's just a little bit tedious because the more bouquet circles you have, the more you have to blur it. So I'm doing the whole process of blurring out all the bouquet circles that I have painted previously. And not forgetting on the right, I haven't filled up the rest of the bouquet yet. But you can see how it kind of looks like from this angle after I blur it. The colors aren't as intense, and You'll see why it works later when you add the solid bokeh circles. So on the right side where the small blue circles, I'm going to gradually start with orange and I add just a few red dots and I fill up the circles in between the blue ones with turquoise. After the whole row of circles are filled, then we're going to continue blurring them. I'm using a size 00 brush for this, so I find that when you're using a fine tip brush, it works a lot better and a lot easier when you're trying to blend the edges of the circles to soften it. So here's another close-up shot. This one I'm blending the red circle, so I mix black with red, and this one I mix black with a bit of orange, and I just blend. I start from the outside of the circle and slowly blend it in. So we just have a little bit more to go, and then we're going to move on to the next step, which is to draw the bokeh reflections on the water. So we're going to start from the left. I'm going to draw 3 orange circles below the orange. I'm going to add 2 blue circles below the blue, and for this so-called small tower I'm going to add more yellow, and in the middle, because this is going to be the main focus point, I'm going to add more reflections in orange because there's also more lights there, and I'm going to kind of drag it out lower. And then next we're going to do one final round of blurring. So all these reflections on the water is going to be blended and blurred as well, the same way we did for the circles before this. Just mix it with a bit of black and the color of the bokeh circles that we want to blend, and that's how we blur it. I know this part is getting very tedious, but it's going to be so worth it at the end, I promise you that. So here comes the fun part. We're going to paint the solid bokeh circles. So we're not going to paint all over the blurred bouquets that we paint on the first layer, and for the solid circles we're only going to just paint a few of them, so it really draws your eyes and it kind of looks like it's sparkling. So I'm going to paint them in white, turquoise, yellow, light orange, dark orange, and in red. So the placement of these solid circles may look random, but it's not. So you have to match it with the background circle that we've blurred earlier. So if it's blue, then we add turquoise, a solid turquoise. If it's orange, then we add a light orange. If it's yellow, then we add white and yellow. So it kind of has to make sense as well. So I'm drawing a bit more circles in the middle, but not too much to clutter it, but just enough to make it focused in the center. And then at the side, I'm going to add more turquoise circles to let it stand out from the blue dots. And I'm going to mix the red with a bit of white so it has that nice pink shade. I actually kind of like how the turquoise bokeh circles are coming about, and because white goes very well with blue, I'm also throwing maybe like 1 or 2 white bokeh circles on the blue side. So this part is completely optional, but I felt like I haven't drawn my signature rose in a very long time, so I'm not sure if I ruined this painting. Well, I couldn't resist adding just like a red rose, kind of like overlooking the whole view from across the river. It's solitary. So anyway, I hope you like this painting. I actually really love it, and I think when you see the full scale of it, when I bring the camera back, then you'll understand where I'm coming from. But anyway, if you like this painting as much as I do, it's available on Etsy and the link is in the description to purchase. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you find this tutorial useful, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Goodbye.
did you get so many?
I called everywhere in 5 states. I told them it was the only way to get my wife to marry me.
You don't even